This is my very neglected Yamaha Thunderace. When I collected this old shed, I was full of motivation. I thought, perfect, I need a new project bike to get stuck into. But little did I know, was I in for a big challenge. Not only has this Yamaha Thunderace been off the road for the best part of 20 years, it is also damaged too. And that damage is unfortunately to the frame, which means I guess we've got to completely strip this old bruiser down and replace the frame. And this is where I'm currently at. As you can see, no engine. And that's because the engine is in the boot of my car. But don't panic, I have everything under control. This is where I really want to give a big shout out to eBay. I needed to source a difficult to find replacement frame, and if I wanted to find the right part at the right price, eBay was the answer. You see, because you can find, fix and save on vehicle parts and accessories with eBay. So using my faithful toolbox on wheels, I collected the replacement frame and popped it into the boot of my car, which got me thinking, if it wasn't for eBay and the range of parts available, it would be really hard to restore such an old motorcycle. And keeping on subject to replacement parts, eBay have a dedicated section for motorcycle parts and accessories where you can find, fix and save. Right now they are offering 20% off motorcycle clothing, parts and accessories up until the 30th of September. So of course I took advantage of the offer and picked up myself some shiny new disc brakes. What's next then? Well, I really want to restore this Thunderace to the best of my ability, so we certainly need to keep breaking this bike down, ready to be rebuilt again, which may sound straightforward, only I am attempting this rebuild all from my driveway. Which is absolutely insane. Anyway, here I am getting my car as close as possible to my new workbench. Apparently, this workbench has a max load capacity of 250 kilos, which we're about to find out if that's true, because I'm going to be putting the engine on top of it. What we can do is get the engine.
Can I tell you my opinion?
Got in.
Remove all this, move it to the centre, swift it to the centre, and then both of us can lift it out.
Okay, you're the boss.
Maybe push it to the side like that.
What's your fingers?
Okay, ready?
Okay, rest it there.
One.
That's perfect. I'm well chuffed with that. Now we need to remove the carbs from the engine, which I'm nervous about because, well, look at how corroded these tiny little Allen key bolts are. As for these tiny Allen key bolts, well, surprisingly, they all undone with absolute ease. What wasn't coming off with ease though were the carbs, but I found a great spot on the engine to get some leverage in order to force them off. Here are the condition of the carbs. A bit worried because it seems like there is a bit of oil in places, like dried oil. So be sure to get these all stripped back, cleaned up before they are reinstalled. Oh, and before you lose your mind, I did my best to protect the inlets. Another great bit of advice from the comment section on my previous video suggested that in order to remove the exhaust studs, I could basically tighten up 2 bolts together and it should be enough to remove the studs. I thought it sounded logical, but in practice it didn't seem to work for me. Do we really feel if I added heat to these studs, would they budge? Let me know in the comments. Okay, next challenge, and that is to remove the front and rear wheels along with the front and rear suspension. I've got nothing to hold the frame in the air. I'm going to put 2 axle stands under here and hopefully that supports the bike enough for me to remove those significant parts from the frame. At this point I did realise I still had to whip that nose fairing off. On to removing the front wheel, and this was quite amusing. You see, I really struggled to undo the front axle nut. It was so tight. I thought maybe I need a little more leverage, so I whipped out the torque wrench and put a bit of weight behind it. But nope, can you believe it? I missed this bottom pinch bolt, which clearly did its job. But once that pinch bolt was loose, the axle finally gave way. And looking at those old brake discs, I couldn't help but think how those shiny new discs I picked up from eBay will eventually look once they're installed. I then discovered I couldn't remove that front wheel with the brake calipers in situ, so off with those next. The brake fluid smelt fishy, which I assume means the fluid has gone off. The front calipers though were in such good condition, I don't think I need to be very concerned with these. As for the rear caliper though, it did seem to be sticking. I had released the fluid and there was still quite a noticeable bit of resistance. In comes my wonderful assistant again, just to help ensure, as I lowered the bike off the paddock stand, that the frame was comfortably on those axle stands. Thank you. She's so good. Let's remove the rear shock, shall we? And it was proper crusty under here, as you could imagine. The rear shock had this canister of some sort plumbed into it with a warning symbol on it. It had to be removed, so I was a little nervous about handling it. Turns out it was very pressurized. Look at the state of this rear shock, and it must have been quite, I guess, high tech back in its day, because it's got compression damping, I think there, hard and soft. You've got preload adjustment there as well, and yeah, I guess it was pretty decent for, let's say, 1996. But if you hang around to the end of this video, I'll show you a little surprise. Well, we're in a bit of a precarious situation here. I've got to take that one more fork leg off, but I don't know how to support the frame. How do I do it? Do I just undo these pinch bolts, hold the frame with one hand, slide it off? I guess if I drop the front of that frame onto the ground, doesn't really matter because I'm replacing it. This is where we are then. You must think I am bonkers, right? I mean, keep in mind I am a proper novice here. I'm learning as I go. So some of the plans we have are for the wheels to be powder coated, have new bearings, as well as of course my new front discs from eBay installed, and certainly new tyres too. I mean, the tyres look like plastic, which I guess is due to their age. Front forks visually look in very good condition, however they will definitely need new oil and seals. Undecided right now whether or not to have them powder coated too. What a day, honestly. Stripping that Thunderace is so difficult, but so rewarding at the same time. But listen, before we end this video, and to give you a flavour of what is yet to come, I want to show you what eBay also sent me. Check this out. This is going to be a direct replacement. This is going to be a very cost-effective replacement to that crusty unit that we removed earlier. So if you fancy something like this for your bike, then be sure to head over to eBay UK for all your parts and accessory needs. Also, the replacement frame has been collected, freshly powder coated too, which means we can start rebuilding the Thunderace from the ground up. So if you're excited as I am to see how this Thunderace turns out, hit that subscribe button. With that said, I'm going to end this one here. So I hope to see you on another one very soon. Thank you for watching. See you later.